Good to go.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good shape. Let's do it. I will call to order this January 31st, 2023 meeting, Lawrence County Board of Commissioners. Will all please rise for the pledge of allegiance, followed by a brief moment of silence. Kenny, would you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And all please remain standing for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here.
Commissioner Boyd?
Here. Row officer comments and reports. Looking out of the audience today, I see one row officer with us today, our controller, Prestipine. Dave, do you have anything for us above and beyond what's already on the agenda?
I do not.
Beautiful. Public comments. Is there any member of the public here wishing to make comment before the board? Seeing none. Fiscal and contractual. We've got a couple repository properties up on the slate. First one is approved, or at least has been approved by prior governing boards. That is the school district of the city of Newcastle and the city council of Newcastle. And it is a resolution for discussion and possible approval for repository property 25-900752 located at 157 Cathcart, or I guess the Shannock Township. The Shannock Township. I usually see Thomas Casey on the west side, which is why I jumped to Newcastle. But this has been approved by the Board of Supervisors. Vanessa, is it? I assume it either has been approved or not acted on by the school district.
It was. It must not have been acted on, yeah.
Well, in fairness to Shannock, I think that's all 4 repository properties, so they're probably not used to getting, the school district's probably not used to getting these requests. But we'll make that resolution 2023-38.
38.
Questions, comments on the resolution?
No.
I will take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, we have 3 repository bids which have been rejected. They're all in the city of Newcastle. I'll note that even if this board takes action to approve them today, because one taxing body denied them, they will be denied. That being said, this board, unless there are extenuating circumstances, this board generally rules if it's denied, we generally deny it as well. And again, that being said, we don't have to, even though it wouldn't matter. So we'll make these 39. We'll take them together unless there's any objections to doing so. 40 and 41. And these are rejected by the city of Newcastle, all made by, we got 1 from Thomas Casey, 2 from Thomas Casey, and 1 from Tony Argero. Tory Argero. 1 property is located on Sampson Street, 1 property is located on Moravia Street, and 1 property is the First Merit Building. Again, all of these are denied by the city. Thomas Casey owes back taxes, and in the case of the Liberty, the First Merit Building, it is dilapidated. So those are the reasons. I'll take a motion to approve 39 through 41 unless there are any questions or comments.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
No.
Commissioner Vogler?
No.
Commissioner Boyd?
No.
Motion fails.
Thank you. We have no advertising for bids and proposals, although I do believe we'll have a couple things coming up for maintenance pretty fast, specifically relating to roof repairs. We do have the opening of bids and proposals. That's why our controller's with us today for the Stabbage Bike Trail. I'm hopeful this is the last time we'll have to open bids as it relates to park maintenance again, because we'll be onboarding a parks manager position in quick order. That being said, Dave, welcome to the circus as always. Happy to have you with us. If you'd be able to do the honors of ripping those folders open.
Sure thing. I have 3 bids. The first one I have here is from C. Crump Incorporated in Hubbard, Ohio. Total amount of bid, $41,020. Next one is GP Construction Incorporated in Edinburgh, Pennsylvania. Total amount of bid, $46,323. And the final one is from North Beaver Contracting in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Total amount of bid, $42,712.
Okay, questions or comments on any of those bids? As is customary, what we'll do next is we'll take a motion to table the bids and refer them to the appropriate administrative officials, in this case, the controller, the solicitor, and the Department of Planning, for further review, and we'll take action on those bids at a later meeting. So I'll take a motion to table and refer to the appropriate administrative officials.
So moved.
Second. The motion is second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Dave, thank you very much.
Thank you.
No problem.
We have 3 warrant registers today from January 27, 26, and 24. The warrant register is just simply a list of checks or bills paid out by the controller and the treasurer that we have authorized over the last few weeks. And I'll give my colleagues a minute to check those over to make sure that all are accurate, that all of our monies are accounted for, the public's monies are accounted for. And I'll take a motion to approve or to accept and file 3 warrant registers whenever you're ready.
So moved.
Second. Motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The minutes from Tuesday, January 24th, 2023. I'll give my colleagues a minute to check those over and take a motion to approve or make any changes as necessary and expedient. This was a big money meeting. We spent a significant amount of ARPA dollars, a significant amount of American Rescue Plan Act dollars, a significant amount of paving dollars. And today's the day we actually do the contracting that is associated with the authorization of those appropriations.
So moved.
Second. Motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have 1 written communication today from North Memorial Animal Hospital in Wilmington Township. They are applying for a National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System (NPDES) permit for their sewage. Any questions or comments on that?
No.
Hearing none, I'll take a motion to accept and file correspondence.
So moved.
Second. Motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Staff reports. Do we have any member of staff here that has anything to report above and beyond what's already on the agenda? JR, approach the bench.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Here's a written copy of the report for your
Thank you.
reference.
Thank you.
Thank you. The report has to do with the data update project that the previous Board of Commissioners signed in 2019. I'm pleased to announce that it has finally been completed in conjunction with Evaluative Services, Technology, and Vision Government Solutions. The project was signed in 2019, like I said, from the previous Board of Commissioners, in order to update all property characteristics throughout the county by the use of aerial imagery and oblique imagery. I want to stress this was not a reassessment, but an update of just property data. We used the current valuation tables that were effective on our last countywide reassessment in 2003. Wanted to just give the update. There were 26,035 parcels that were reviewed by not only Vision and EST personnel, but also the county personnel. And out of that, 729 of them still need to be site visited because there was obstructions from aerial imagery, either from other objects or from tree cover. So when my staff is out in that district doing its normal routine building permits, they will visit these properties to pick up what is noted based off this project. Just to recap, the cost of this project was $150,000. And I'm happy to announce the total assessment increase from this project was $471,549. That gives a county tax, unbudgeted county tax revenue of $510,767,000. So as you can see, it was a good return on the investment from county tax dollars.
I don't know if that is budgeted now.
It is budgeted.
It is budgeted now.
Well,
Don't get any ideas.
the last group is not. We sent out 1,300 change of assessment notices at the beginning of this month for the last group of changes that occurred at the end of the year. So that has not been budgeted yet.
Okay.
Did you have to tell him that?
I'll have those numbers to you at a future meeting. But I also want to stress one other thing. I want to be clear that not every person in the county received an increase in their assessment. There were over 3,000 property owners that also received a decrease. So the assessment office's job is to make sure everyone is paying their fair share of taxes. That can be an increase, decrease, or a status quo stay the same. So just wanted to give that report. I am working on a district breakdown by municipality and school district that I will then forward on to each of the respective districts, so they are aware of how the project turned out for them.
Yeah, I would, just a couple comments, I'll turn it over to my colleagues. Number one, the $510,000 figure, that's only county tax revenue, is that accurate?
That is correct.
Which means all of our school districts and all but one of our municipalities, New Wilmington Borough, which doesn't levy a property tax, is receiving additional impact beyond just the county impact in terms of their bottom line. Number two, I happened to be with the township supervisor. I met one of the supervisors for breakfast this morning up at Mama Jane's in Neshannock. And he actually commented that because of this, along with a couple of other initiatives they've put into place in his township, their revenue projections, even beyond what they budgeted for in their most recent budget, are already exceeding expectations for fiscal year 2023. And so that specific township, and along with many others, are in better fiscal health because of this initiative. And lastly, I'll say, and just to tap on what you said last, this is not about increasing or decreasing taxes. This isn't about us trying to go grab more revenue or lose more revenue or any of that. This is about making sure that everybody in Lawrence County is paying their fair share based on the taxing mechanisms that we have available towards the provision of government services. That's the goal of your office. That's the goal of the three of us sitting up here. That's the goal of the Board of Assessment Appeals. Is not that people pay more or less in taxes, but that everybody pays their fair share, and that's what this project helped to accomplish. My colleagues?
No, agreed that it clarifying that it wasn't a reassessment, that it was just updating.
Only other comment I would like to make is I do want to really put a shout out to the assessment office staff. They really went above and beyond the last 3 years with this project. We've gotten some phone calls from very angry property owners, but then after we kind of explained, most of them seem to settle down, but every property owner did have their right to appeal the increase, decrease, or whatever happened. But I do believe the office did go above and beyond, so I do want to give them a shout out.
Absolutely. And you made a good point. Some properties actually decreased. Their taxes did decrease when they come in, if they did file that appeal. I know I got different phone calls, and again, once it's explained to them that they do calm down. I haven't gotten anything recent, so whatever the word is getting out or has gotten out, that it's not a reassessment. You do have that opportunity to appeal. Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other member of staff have anything to report about the authority on the agenda? Seeing none. Commissioner reports and comments. Loretta, you're on deck. Floor is yours.
I have nothing today. Thank you.
Dan?
Likewise.
Only thing I'll note is congratulations to you both for not having any responsibility over the elections for the next year. I am envious right now, although I will have an announcement. I'll be releasing what my intentions are on Thursday, but for at least the next couple of days and potentially for the next at least couple of months, congratulations on absolving yourselves of that headache, and best of luck to you both.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, moving on to the resolution portion. We have
Do we maybe need to clarify that? I mean, I don't know how many people are viewing, but the fact that Dan and we've both indicated that we are running for re-election, since we are members of the election board, we can no longer participate in that, and we are no longer members of the election board. So what happens in that instance then is the judge appoints two additional members to replace us of like party. And so those replacements has been made, the order has been put out, so Dan and I no longer sit or can sit on the election board. Right now Morgan is still sitting, and like you said, for however long amount of time, he will be there. Do it right. We'll be watching. Go ahead,
I
Dan.
was joking with Kim Germany that, you know, I'm not even allowed to speak to him anymore. I walked right past him in the hallway. I didn't say hello. But no, we do have, that's a joke, but we do have to keep
Yes,
our relationship with that office now at arm's length.
yes,
And, that's a good law, it's a very good law.
absolutely.
Enjoy your service with Mr. Piccari and Attorney Seltzer.
Yes,
I have a feeling the meetings are gonna be lively.
right.
But on that note, we'll move into the new
Okay.
resolution portion of the circus. First up, we have our tax lien director, Tish Foster, for a resolution discussion, entering into agreement with Infocon. Tish, approach the bench. How you doing today?
Good.
What do we have before us?
Well, basically, we just want to be able to have the beneficiaries' information that's done through Infocon on our computer so that we can access that data for our tax sales. We've been, we have some areas where, maybe someone didn't get noticed it should, or the address didn't get updated, because we don't have access to all that information, so that will make it easier for us to do that if we're able to do that. So, that's our goal.
Questions, comments?
Is the pathonetary aware that you're bringing this to our attention?
Yes, our
Okay.
solicitor contacted the pathonetary to get her approval first,
Great,
and then the next step was to bring it to the meeting.
thank you.
Very good.
No, this is a
Excellent.
cost of about it is $576 total for $48 a month. And again, the hope is that this increases the efficiencies of the tax claim office and allows for more efficient administration of our tax sales and our repository sales.
Exactly.
So, thank you. I'll take a motion on 42.
So moved.
Second, motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes,
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, LCAPS, Vanessa. We've got a resolution for our contribution to the Senior Citizen Nutritional Shopping Program, about $5,160. We've done this every year, but it's certainly always good to see it. You'd be able to give us a refresher on what the taxpayers are paying for.
Absolutely. So we're here today to ask for $5,160 to supplement the senior nutritional shopping program. These are trips provided on the ACTS bus service to Lawrence County residents who are 65 or older. They can travel for just $1 to go to the grocery store, farmer's market, or food pantry. That was something that came up through COVID, and
Right,
we
yes.
added that knowing that you all would be, I probably should have asked now that I'm saying it out loud, but I know you would have been supportive of that. But anyway, roughly, the average amount per trip that the county would pay is less than $2 per trip. That allows our seniors to go for just $1, with the PennDOT lottery program paying 85% of that fare. It enables people to have access to groceries more frequently. It's not cost prohibitive, especially things like fresh fruit, bread, and things like that. You can't just buy once per month and have all month. So also with our same day trip program, we're finding that our seniors are really using the same day trip program in addition with the senior nutritional program in order to go out and get, groceries as they're getting low and just having more flexibility and access to our community. So it's been great.
No, it's a good program. As you mentioned, you're projecting 2,775 trips to be provided to senior citizens, which is excellent. And I'm certainly in favor of it. I'm sure that the vote will reflect the board's
Absolutely.
positive opinion towards the program. Any questions or comments for LCAP, Vanessa?
Just thank you for doing the job that you do. I know sometimes it's difficult to keep the monies and the numbers and the seniors, where they need to go and what they need to do. So thank you guys so much for keeping such good track of our seniors.
Thank you very much.
I probably ask you this every year, but for the folks 65 and over, are there any income limitations? This could be anybody 65 or over who resides in Lawrence County.
Absolutely. We jokingly say you can have $1 or $1 million. If you need us, we're here for you.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we don't have a whole lot of millionaires, but it's just a joke that we say.
Sure.
No income tied to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll take a motion on 43.
So moved.
Second. A motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Lawrence County, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Thanks, Vanessa.
Thank you so
all very
much.
Up next, we have our planning department, 44. This is a project that we're looking to do with Elport Borough for the completion of their zoning ordinance. Alan, Becky, which one of you guys is take Alan? So what do we have? I'm glad that we got a smaller municipality here looking at their zoning.
Right.
And I want to emphasize that these types of programs are available to every municipality in the county of Lawrence for anyone that wants to partner with our planning department to undertake them. So if you'd be able to give us an overview of what's going on?
Yeah, Elport Borough is in the process of updating their zoning ordinance. Their council has actually written most of the ordinance. They just need assistance in completing it and making sure that it's compliant with the Pennsylvania municipality planning code. So that's what we're entering the contract.
What are the terms of the agreement? Are we charging them?
Yes.
How much?
$500.
So in other words, for $500, they're getting
Here we go.
assurance that you're in full compliance with the Pennsylvania municipalities planning code. Certainly a worthwhile expenditure there, and certainly deeply discounted from what you pay an attorney or a third-party consulting firm. So for the low price of $500, we will provide your very own Alan Miller to you. And any questions from colleagues here? Thank you for your work on this, and I'm sure we appreciate it, and I'm sure the Elport appreciates it as well. I'll take a motion on 44.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel, Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Becky, are you here for these ones?
No.
Okay,
No,
I
I'm
can
just-
take them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was here just to provide support here for Alan. So, yeah, no, I was like, no, we're good.
These all, and unless there's any objection, we'll take them all together.
Sure.
Just because that's probably the easiest way to do it. Last week, we approved a number of American Rescue Plan Act allocations for various projects. What we approved last week was the appropriation. It was not an actual contractual agreement with the entities to whom we're awarding funding. This week, we're officially awarding funding to Westminster College, $250,000, Mahoning Township, $250,000, New Wilmington Borough, $60,000, and LCSS, LCAP, $276,105. I'll note for the other projects, the broadband contracts already been entered into, and the Elwood City Borough project is actually technically running through Lawrence County. And so while we approved the money for Elwood City, the project itself is being administered by Lawrence County. So for that reason, we need to contract with ourselves to execute that plan of work. And then our internal IT upgrades, they were internal IT upgrades. So questions or comments? All these have been reviewed by the auditors. In fact, I think the auditors pulled the actual contracts together. All of them were reviewed by the solicitors. It's just on us now to approve. Any questions or comments before? I'll take a motion on resolutions 45 through 48.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, we have a resolution for discussion of possible to execute a letter of authorization, all related documents for mission critical partners or contact to facilitate the NG 911 service. This is an initiative that's been in place actually now for a couple of years, transitioning to NG 911 service from our current systems. This contract will take place through, it starts yesterday and will take place through 2025. This is through a 911 center, and I believe funds here are being paid for out of our 15% grant allowance from PEMA. So this is not coming, I don't believe this is coming out of the general fund. But it modernizes our 911 systems and allows for more efficient 911 service. And as we all know, how that service is critical to provide to our residents. Questions or comments on this? I'll take a motion to approve 49.
So moved.
Second with it, I do have a comment. I believe you both know this, but Mr. Strobel did plan to be here today. And last night, we had a couple of unfortunate situations in the county
Yes.
that really required his attention. We obviously, you may know, we had a shooting in the borough of Elwood City and a fire in Scott Township. And it did require Mr. Strobel's attention. And I think it probably took his time a good part of the evening. So his office called and asked, and again, maybe you know already, that normally he would have been here, but and he hopes that we understand why he can't. So
Absolutely.
thank you.
Absolutely. You have a motion second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, we just have a transfer, and it's a large transfer, but there's a reason for it, $82,819. As many of you know, the 911 budget, from a budgetary perspective, is the bane of my existence. We get the actual amounts right. For the life of me, I can't get the accounts right. And so this is transferring. I put all of our 15% funding into a shared CPE account for the 2023 fiscal year. Chad is separating the funds out from that shared CPE account into project-specific accounts as required by PEMA. Again, the budget's so done on every other area. I cannot get 911 100% right. It's impossible for me to wrap my head around. But we're moving that money out of that shared CPE account into the project-specific accounts. And this is all 15% funding, it's not general tax levy. So I'll take a motion to approve that transfer.
Before, if I could just comment, no, because a light bulb went off in the fog here. Through CCAP, we actually vote on priorities that we want to speak to our legislators about at the Capitol in Harrisburg. And the 911 system, the appropriations, it sunsets January 31st of 2024. So that is one of the top priorities for CCAP, is to be involved through our different counties, through the different systems that we have, to be involved with the legislators to try to come up with the systems, whether it continue the way that it is with increases in different areas or not. Maybe putting everything under one umbrella, that, it could be disseminated a bit better for budgeting purposes. I'm sure other counties go through the same thing, but that is one of the top priorities, because it does sunset next January, and you can't delay on that because you can't stop the 911 system.
And that formula is so flawed that they're using right now. They use, in order to compile, so for context, whenever you get your cell phone bill, I'm sure you guys see a tax on it. A Pennsylvania specific tax that goes to PEMA, which then flows to the counties to provide 911 services. And it's based on a formula that was, I think they came up with it in 2015. I want to say it's 14 or 15. The problem with the formula is that it was based on actual expenses incurred by counties in prior years. And so the problem with that is you had some counties that constructed a 911 center.
Yes.
In prior years that cost, potentially, I think ours cost, Dan, you'd be able to give a better figure on this, maybe $6-7 million.
Yeah, at least.
And there were some overages on that I'm aware of. But so we constructed our 911 center after the formula was written. And so while Indiana County is the county I'll use as the example, they're receiving millions of dollars more than we are to fund their 911 system. They're exactly the same size county.
Yes.
But because the formula is based on prior year expenses, and they put their 911 center in as they were crafting the formula, they're getting a significant more dollars than us. who have the same population, but put our 911 center in afterwards. And so that formula needs fixed. It would save our taxpayers' dollars. It would probably cost the Indiana County taxpayers' dollars, but then again, we don't
Well,
represent them.
hence not the argument, but the fact that it needs to be worked on because it's
not fair.
It's not fair, and it's not going to be an easy thing as a representative to say, well, go ahead and pull those millions from Indiana or another county and share a little bit more with Lawrence. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how things move forward.
I think they were one vote away from it in the last vote to change the formula, and some guy switched at the last minute. I remember Jeff when he was still,
Oh,
he
wow,
was telling me
okay,
about it.
okay.
But it's
Yes.
a big issue, and I'm glad that CCAP's making it a priority.
Yes, definitely.
Vanessa, would you do a motion?
I think I spoke out
You
of
want a
turn
motion?
before. I will motion.
Second. Motion is second. Any further discussion on the transfer? Hearing none, question on the motion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. No ordinance is on the table for introduction for final action. Next commissioners meeting will be held on Tuesday, February 7th at 10 a.m. in the commissioners meeting room. There will be a Lawrence County Opioid Advisory Board meeting following that meeting on the 7th at 12 o'clock noon in this room. And there will be a planning commission meeting on Wednesday, February 8th at 12 o'clock noon at the Bessemer Borough Building. Any public comments?
If I may, I'm sorry.
Absolutely, Ken.
You had asked Sherry Knight her name. That this is Sherry Knight. She is going to be our Elm Street liaison. So we're just trying to pay a little bit more attention on what's going on in our government, see how we can help you guys and how we can work together to better our community.
Absolutely. I'll note that
Thank you.
the Elm Street project on the Lower East Side, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, is one of 2 Elm Street designations in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they just added a third one that I'm aware of and maybe a fourth, but that's still a great saying that little Newcastle, PA
Absolutely.
has been respected enough for them to give us that designation.
Absolutely. And we know that it's because of the hard work of individuals like you both that we received that designation. So appreciate
Yes.
your efforts on the Lower East Side. Appreciate everything you guys do for the community. I'm certainly happy to have you here, and you're always welcome back.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay.
Any additional comments by the board?
No.
All right, I will adjourn the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners.
Thanks for, Ken, don't forget your Steeler jacket.
Yeah, better take that, even though the season's over.
Give you my card. If you do ever need anything, Ken, good to see you.